We are 1 week till Christmas. I'm so excited. I have the best video for you guys. I've been so excited to film this, and it is 22 shoujo mangas that you can read this Christmas. Why? Because they're Christmas themed. I have hunted high and low. I've read some terrible ones. Some I do feature in this list, and then others that are so freaking cute and adorable. I love them so much. The majority of them are romance, and like I said, they're set around Christmas Eve. But because there's so many, I'm not going to go into crazy detail about each of the mangas. I've had so much fun reading all of these mangas, whether they were really good or really bad. So if you have any manga Christmas recommendations, please pop them in the comments below, because I will be reading them throughout the remainder of December. And as always, the disclaimers, I'll be saying all of the manga titles via their English title. If I know their Japanese title, I will pop it in the description box below. And lastly, all of these will be shoujo and romance unless I specify, because there are a few that are not romance and it would be weird if they were romance. But I don't want to keep repeating myself, so if I don't say they're not, assume all of them are shoujo and romance. Let's get into this. Also, look how freaking cute this cup is. Has a little hat to keep it warm. I've got my tea and I'm ready to go. I think I'm gonna have to take off this hat, guys, because it keeps falling off. I thought I could wear it for the whole video. It's so cute. I'll pop it here. I will say 99% of these are one-shots. I could not find many long-form Christmassy mangas. Probably because Christmas happens once a year, so what would they do for the remainder of the manga? Yeah, I just want to quickly caveat that here. I'm going to be going through this list from worst to best, so hold your horses, because the first ones are shocking. My jaw was to the ground whilst reading some of these, but I can't wait to share them with you. Probably the top 15 I mega recommend. Anywho, coming in at 22, we've got Snow Black Christmas, and this is a one-shot. Oh, it had some promise at the start, but it really did fall flat. It's about this girl who has been going out with her boyfriend for 3 months, and Christmas Eve is coming up, and all they've done is kiss, and he's kind of pressuring her to go all the way. And she's like, you know what? Christmas Eve is going to be the time. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make a really cute Christmas cake to take with me. But when she goes to meet her beloved pressuring boyfriend, she sees this other guy making some dance moves on the dance floor, and she's like, oh, he looks nice. No, I've got a boyfriend. But lo and behold, they have this interaction where he's trying to hide from girls, so he hugs her, and when they were hugging, the freaking Christmas cake gets squished. So he's like, come back to mine and we'll make a new Christmas cake. And what does she do? She goes back to this guy's house, and you know what? Because I don't recommend this, I'm going to spoil it. But if you fancy this, skip to the next one now. But you know what ends up happening? She sleeps with this guy. It's so crazy. And out of nowhere, literally my mouth hit the floor. And then what ends up happening is her boyfriend got this guy to make advances on her to see if she would sleep with him. And then he was like, I knew something was up. You just didn't want to sleep with me. So this girl, she's just slept with someone for the first time. She's being betrayed by her boyfriend, who was pressuring her anyway. And then she kind of likes this new guy all in the space of 3 hours, and then obviously sleeps with him. And this new guy's now betrayed her as well. But then she ends up still dating him. Like, it's so crazy. I absolutely hate the guy that ends up sleeping with her, because he is an absolute pig, along with her ex-boyfriend. Anywho, that was all set around Christmas Eve, and it does have some Christmas nods, but it's pretty tragic. Oh my lord. This next one, again, I had high hopes for this, but no. Number 21 is A Holy Night to the Lost Lamb, and this is another one-shot. It's about this girl who, over the past 3 years, she has been dumped on Christmas frickin' Day. So she's like, I'm never gonna find anyone. Why do all these men keep breaking up with me? So she decides to go on this confession counseling session that the church is advertising for people to come in and get some help. So she goes to confess and have this counseling with this priest. And the priest is really horrible to her, makes her cry. I hate this priest, man. He takes no pity on her and is just really horrible. But then she can't even make a donation because she's lost her wallet. So in order to pay for this confession and advice that he gave her, she has to do jobs for him, and he dresses her in this Santa outfit. The overarching theme of the story is the fact that he was actually showing her that she could be happy doing things herself, and if she puts faith in herself, then she can have a better life. But the main thing that I didn't like is the priest is just so weird, and I don't understand that she falls in love with him after only a day of knowing him, and 80% of that day she hated him because he was being horrible to her. Plus, this priest just comes across as pervy because he dresses her in that Santa outfit, and he just can't communicate his feelings very well. He's like, oh, well, I always did like you, I was just being mean to you. And then they end up together. So if you want to read that one shot, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know whether I just was reading a bad English translated version, because some of it didn't make sense either. But the other two were bad. However, we're going into decent mangas now. They're good. And I'll let you know when they get great. But number 20 is Merry Unbalanced Christmas. And this is a drama romance. The vibe is wealthy guy and then unwealthy, a bit hard done by girl. The story starts with us following our female lead. Christmas is a bit bare and she finds it quite a sad time. So she decides that next Christmas, which is now present day, she's gonna save up for a really lovely Christmas cake because she loves sweet treats. And when she goes to collect it, the manager's like, I'm so sorry, this is the last cake, but we have to give it to this guy because his dad is connected to our business and I have to make him happy. And she goes along with her friend, and her friend is like, hang on a minute, she pre-ordered this months ago, so how can you just give it to someone else? And this rich kid is like, well, I need it, here's all the money you can want, I'm gonna take it. And this girl's like, hell no. She bats the money out of his hand and she's like, I don't want your money, and she walks out. She's really upset. But then what ends up happening is this guy completely falls for her because she's the first person to ever stand up to him. Because it's around Christmas, he's like, I want to woo you, so I'm going to try and buy you gifts. Whereas she's kind of knocking him down, like, I don't want any of that. So they make a deal that they will meet at the Christmas party on Christmas Eve and they can bring their gifts. And if they both like each other and they have mutual feelings, they'll start going out. And if they don't, they will part ways. And it's about their love story. It was cute, but I just didn't vibe with the male lead at all. However, what stole it for me, this would have been a don't recommend, but the end was so sweet and cute. And the little cute message at the bottom of the manga from the author was, celebrating Christmas Day with the person you love must be the happiest Christmas day for everyone. And I thought that was really sweet. So it did bump it up to being a decent manga. Number 19 is called Our Boyfriend, I believe. I will link what I think the Japanese name is in the description box. But this is one volume, so the first one that's not a one shot, and it's a school life comedy drama romance, and it follows our female lead who is meant to be introducing her boyfriend to all of her best friends at the coming Christmas party, and she can't wait. She's like, he's really tall, he's handsome, he's got dark hair. However, when she goes to pick him up, she finds that he is cheating on her with another girl and they break up. She's distraught, she doesn't know what to do. She feels embarrassed because all of her friends are expecting to meet her new boyfriend. And then when she's really upset, lo and behold, the lamest guy in her class at school walks by and is like, are you okay? And she looks up and it clicks. He is tall. He's somewhat handsome when he takes his glasses off, which I freaking hate that trope when someone takes their glasses off and they become really desirable, but this is one of those. But he also has dark hair, so she's like, I'm gonna use you, buddy. You're gonna pretend to be my fake boyfriend and come to this party. In all honesty, the female lead is very annoying, but she's so hilarious. Like, I was cackling reading her parts and her expressions, everything about what she does when she's being very dramatic. It's so funny. But you know what? This isn't one of those mangas where the male lead is like a red flag, he's really weird. He is like a green flag and he's very rich, but he does do some really weird things. And I was like, why on earth is he doing that? Because after chapter 2, why does he lick her face like that? Like, why does he do that? I was like, everything was good for him. And then he did that and I was like, ew. And he kind of freaked me out. And then in all honesty, after chapter 2, it just gets absurd, but it's funny absurd. And if you like the makeover trope, this is that. So if anything ticks your fancy there, definitely give this a try. Next, we have number 18, which is Let Me Carry Your Thoughts to Christmas. And this is another school life romance. It's a one-shot, it's very short and sweet, and I won't go into too much detail, otherwise I'll say the whole story. It follows a typical boy-girl relationship at school where they're best friends, but he's like a bit mean to her because they're so close, and she secretly likes this guy. And it's Christmas time, and at school they bake cookies, and her friends are like, who are you gonna make cookies for? Who are you gonna give cookies to at Christmas? And she's like, I don't know. And it just follows her journey of gaining courage, confronting her feelings, and then also about this guy opening his freaking eyes because it's so obvious that she likes him. One thing I did really like about this was the small signs of affection that he does for her. But overall, I just wasn't that keen on the guy. However, it has some really cute moments in it. And the female lead did make me laugh. Like when she angrily ate the cookies because she was really stressed out. I laughed so much at that bit. Number 17 is called After Christmas, and this is another one-shot, and I think it's set in college, but it doesn't specify. This story follows our female lead who has woken up on Christmas Day, and she's like, what on earth happened last night? And the night before, obviously, is Christmas Eve. She was at a karaoke party and she was letting loose because she just got dumped by her boyfriend. Like, honestly, so many of these Christmas stories, it is about a girl getting dumped and then about a guy coming in and whisking her away. I don't know why that's so appealing around Christmas, but that's the theme of these Christmas mangas. Anyway, back to the story. So she's woken up and she's had a one night stand with someone and just has no clue who it is because she got blackout drunk. She was partying hardcore last night. She wants to find this mystery man, but she can't remember, and she's trying to piece it together. And then when she's walking down the corridor in college, she bumps into this guy and she recognizes him. She has a moment of clarity, and it's about finding out how they met and a bit more about each of them and their night together. It wasn't the best in all honesty, but it was an okay one. I kind of feel like I wish I had this a bit lower down on the list, like maybe number 18. So I think I do want to change them over. Because remembering what it all was about, it actually wasn't that amazing. Whereas Let Me Carry Your Thoughts to Christmas had way more funny moments. So I'm actually gonna switch these two right now. This next one is weird as hell. And number 16 is The Moonlit-Night and The Holy Night. This is a supernatural romance where, it's such a weird freaking story. You are gonna be like, what on earth? How have they made this into a Christmas thing? But they have. We follow our female lead who, as always, hates Christmas because her dad is cheating on her mum, so it's always out, and her mum works late. So I'm really feeling bad for the mum here. It's Christmas Eve and she's like, this Christmas is gonna be completely different because I have a boyfriend and my boyfriend is gonna come over. I've baked this Christmas cake and I cannot wait. And she's like, where is my boyfriend? He hasn't texted me, so I'm gonna give him a call. And at the same time she's phoning her boyfriend, this crow flies into her door. She's a bit like, oh my God, a crow's just fallen on the floor. I think it's dying. Plus her boyfriend answers and he literally dumps her with no explanation and is like, oh, hi, yeah, I can't meet up now because I've got a new girlfriend. Why? Another one where she gets dumped for no reason whatsoever. These guys are trash. So she's so upset and she's like, I need something good to happen right now. I need a Christmas miracle. So she tries to save the crow. And that is all I'll say, because this got crazy. What on earth was I reading? This went from normal to weird to freaky. So bizarre. You won't know what's coming. I mean, I was shocked. And the end was so bizarre. The mum comes home and says something. What did she say again? I'm gonna have to get it up. She says the crows ate all of the cake I was eating outside. And I laughed so much at that because it was so odd and so left field. You just have to read it. Please do read this one and let me know your thoughts and whether you were also blindsided and a bit like, this is just weird. Number 15, I don't even know if you can class it as a one-shot because it was literally 5 pages. However, it was cute as hell. And it's called It's Always a Wonderful Christmas When You're With Your Lover. It's so corny. It's about our female lead who is spending Christmas Day with her boyfriend, and she's bought a cake. As in all these stories, there's always a Christmas cake. And she's really excited to go. And when she turns up, her boyfriend has been stuck on babysitting duty with his younger twin brothers. And it's about the fact that they thought they were going to spend time just the two of them. However, they're going to be accommodating and spend it with the twins as well. I cannot say more than that. Otherwise, I'm telling you every single thing that happens. It is literally 5 pages. Everyone can read it. It was cute and simple. I generally did like the boyfriend and girlfriend, and I would read more of their story. Like, I would read a whole manga about them purely from the cuteness that they gave me from these 5 pages. So number 14 is My Everything Is Yours. And this is a school life romance and a second chance romance between 2 childhood best friends. We follow it from the girl's point of view, who is the senpai. She's, I think, a year or 2 older than her guy childhood friend. And you get a bit of backstory about the fact that they always spent Christmas together because their families went to see the Christmas lights on Christmas Eve together. And then 2 years ago, he somewhat confesses his feelings to her, and she's a bit like, oh no, like, we could never go out, we're just friends. But from that day, she was like, damn, I actually quite like him. And it's now 2 years later, they're in high school together, and he's really popular with the girls because he's tall and handsome. She's now really regretting not shooting her shot, and she decides that she is going to confess to him on Christmas Eve around the Christmas lights and get him a present, etc. So it's about that journey, about what ends up happening on Christmas Eve, but also the run up to Christmas. I found the girl annoying and hard to like, but the guy, I am so proud of him because she is harsh to him and he stands up for himself and is like, you can't speak to me like that and you can't treat me like that. And I love that he understands her very well, and I found their relationship very realistic. Number 13, we have Where Memories Continue. And this is a bit of a weird one because it is a one-shot. However, there then is 4 other short stories after this one, but none of them focus around Christmas. Only the first one-shot does. So that's the only one I'm going to be talking about and recommending in this video. This is about childhood friends who were neighbours and they always went to this Christmas light show together. But then last year on Christmas Eve at the light show, he confesses his feelings to her and they start going out. So cute. How many times can I say cute in this video? Now, he is a few years older than her and he is at uni but also does a part-time job, and she is in high school. What ends up happening, he has to work Christmas Eve because they're really short-staffed and he can't get out of it. She says, oh, I'm fine with it, but actually she's not. And she starts to overthink their relationship. She overthinks whether he really likes her and is really stressed out. And it follows their Christmas Eve day of him working and being a little bit worried whether she's going to be okay with this. And then also the female lead who is overthinking and how she deals with that. Honestly, I think her reaction and what she goes through and her overthinking is so realistic, and I just loved how this ended. This was another one where I wish there was more. I would read a manga about their story because they had chemistry and they're really, really adorable. And what he ends up doing for her, you'll love it. You'll love it because I loved it. Number 12, we've got Christmas and Kase-san. This is adorable. For me, this was so wholesome and it is short and sweet. I have to quickly pause here because whilst editing the video, I realised this is actually a manga series and I just read a short Christmas story and there's even more Christmas Eve stories. So I can't wait to go and read them after I've done editing. It follows two girls who are in the same class who decide to go on a Christmas Eve date. They're newly going out and I don't want to say more than that because the story is incredibly short. There's not much more to it other than you getting to know them. The one thing I loved was the gift giving. They were really thoughtful in what they gave and they both know each other so well. So the little sneak peek into their relationship was really cute and they go and see Christmas lights. It really does give you the Christmassy feels with no drama, and sometimes you want that. So if that sounds up your street, definitely give this one a read. Number 11 is like an extra mini story that came off the back of another series. So this one shot is called We, the Demon and Christmas, and it's from the manga series Yume Kiss, and that has 4 volumes and it's completed. However, I didn't read any of that because that's not Christmassy at all, and only this extra one-shot story is. So I don't know how they interlink. It might just be an extra story that the author decided to do. And this is a drama romance. I didn't know what I was expecting going into this, but it wasn't what I got. Sound a bit supernatural, but it's not. And it follows this family who once had everything. They were really rich, they lived in a grand house, they used to have massive Christmas parties, and one Christmas, the twins, I think they're like 6 years old, they go and try and find their presents. And when they're looking for their presents, another boy who's a couple years older comes in and they're like, oh, who are you? And he says, oh, you can just call me the Demon. The twins really get along with the Demon and they have a really cute Christmassy day. However, from that moment on, they had so much bad luck and everything went to pot. Their father was tricked and betrayed by his business friends, lost everything. He then, because he couldn't deal with all of it, and the mum lost everything. I love the mum in this story from start to end. Like, she makes multiple appearances and I absolutely love her. But anyway, back to the story. The family is somewhat back on track. Like, they live a nice life now. They're not rich like they were before. Then the freaking Demon comes back and they're like, why is he here? He actually came back last Christmas. So the twins decide to take matters into their own hands and capture him. And it's about finding out more about this Demon's character and also finding out a bit more about the twins, because the boy twin doesn't speak anymore because he went through so much trauma when they lost everything, and the girl is really the protector. She's like, I'm not gonna have this demon affect our family again. I've got to look after my brother, I want to support my mum, etc. Surprisingly, for a one shot, it had so much depth. It probably is the most story driven and intricate one shot of today's video. I can't get over how badass the mum is. Overall, I'm gonna say it again, but it was very cute. I would definitely give this a go. Now we are into the top 10. I recommend all of these, so I'm not gonna say it again going forward because I wholeheartedly recommend these ones. They either made me laugh so much, they were quite unique, or I just fell in love with the characters. I absolutely love the ending. So at number 10, we have Santa Claus Panic. This is hilarious. We follow our girl who, again, she's alone at Christmas because her parents work all the time and she doesn't have a boyfriend, but she really doesn't want to spend Christmas Eve alone. So she signs up for this Santa delivery service and she thinks she's gonna get delivered this old Santa man and she can spend Christmas Eve with him and it's going to be a really lovely, wholesome evening. So she bakes loads of food, cakes, she plans all of these cute Christmassy activities to do at home. But who rocks up Christmas Eve? A hunky young guy dressed in a Santa outfit, and she's accidentally booked a host club and this guy is coming to make her evening fun, if you get my drift. It's about their evening together and how she navigates having this host club guy turn up. It was funny, but I wasn't too keen on how pushy the male lead was. However, the female lead stole the absolute show. Her strong will to be like, no, all her internal thoughts and the way she acted was brilliant. Like, she really didn't cave to him, and I love that. I love this. It really made me laugh. The male lead does have some redemption in it for me, and that's why it does come in at number 10. Now, number 9, I love it. And this is not a romance, okay? If there was romance, it would be weird as hell. So scratch romance from your brains right now as I describe this story. This is a one-shot and it follows a guy this time who is like a Santa assistant, and he's been trusted to deliver some presents on Christmas Day. But lo and behold, this guy is really clumsy and he ends up crashing his sleigh and his reindeer into a massive tree, which is in the garden of this little girl's house. He ends up having to spend Christmas Eve with this little girl who is very practical, and she doesn't show much emotion. Like, she doesn't really act like a little kid. The story was very wholesome and charming. There was one moment where I was like, please don't get weird and freaky here. Don't do this to this lovely cute manga, because he hugs the little girl from behind, but it didn't get weird and he is very harmless, so that was completely fine. It's so short. Like, all of these one shots, they're so easy to read and they get you in the Christmas spirit. Definitely this one, because there's reindeers, it's about Santa delivering gifts, all that Christmassy stuff that you want. Got a lot more Santa and reindeer elements going forward in this list. Now, I don't think I've translated this okay. There was no English translated name, so I put it in Google Translate and it's coming up as That Christmas Before, but I'll pop the Japanese name in the description box because I think that's how you're going to be able to find it. But this is another one shot. It is a comedy with elements of romance, but it doesn't follow the romance of the male lead, because the male lead is this guy who is crying on Christmas Eve. Is it Christmas Eve? Yeah, it's always Christmas Eve. What am I talking about? And he looks like this really clumsy, skittish character dressed in a Santa's outfit. And it follows this man helping 3 strangers who are somewhat, they're slightly interlinked, like they're related because of interactions they've had on Christmas Eve. If that makes sense, I don't know. So even in this one shot, it kind of feels like there's 3 separate stories, but it does have like a full circle moment. And story number 1 and 3 were great. Number 2 was a bit weird and I found the kid a bit bratty. However, the ending was adorable, and how it finishes and what you find out about this man. The only thing I didn't really understand was why he cried so much. He would cry at everything. And to like a river, like they wouldn't be droplets, he would be profusely crying, and I didn't understand that. Okay, we're getting into ones that I love, and surprised me this one, because this next one, number 7, called Chocolate Christmas, is from 1987. Whoa, and you can tell, like when you read this manga, like the quality and the drawing style, etc., it's not modern. Anyway, it definitely deserves a 7th spot in this list, and this is a comedy romance, somewhat school life, because it is set in school and a radio station. It's 1 volume, and I would say like it's not a short volume either. You do get quite a bit of content. Again, this story follows a girl who is alone on Christmas Eve, and her dad is really sorry that he can't be there, so sends her a cake, and she's like, oh, I don't want to eat all this cake by myself, I feel a bit sad. She turns on the radio and she hears this DJ called Choco, and he's like, I'm alone on Christmas Eve. You know what? It's actually my birthday, so I'm feeling really lonely. So my goal is to bring couples together, and he ends up being this matchmaker character and trying to spread the joy via this radio channel. And as soon as she heard this, she was like, what a really nice guy. I've got this massive cake all to myself, so I'm gonna make him feel extra special. And she goes down to the radio station, gifts this cake to the doorman, and is like, please give this to DJ Coco, because that's what he's called. Coco or Choco, something like that. Now, rock on a year later, and it jumps to her being at school, and she's kind of like a love matchmaker as well, but with high school students. And overall, the story follows her getting this internship at the radio station because she really loves this DJ, but she's never met him, she's never saw him, and she wants to get close to him. It also follows the DJ, who ends up being a guy at her school and is completely different to how he acts on the radio. I absolutely love the female lead. She is an absolute boss. She speaks her mind and she's not afraid of how people will see her. And she also puts her friends first, which I loved. And I loved her best friend. Like, these two are girlies for life, I'm telling you. The male lead, I didn't somewhat like at first. He's a bit of an arse, but I enjoyed his character development throughout the story, and I ended up quite liking him at the end. I'm telling you, this is a must read. Definitely if you're looking for that cutesy, romance, Christmas setting manga, because it ticks a lot of boxes. The only downside is it is a bit olden, so I think the English translation isn't amazing, but if you can get past that, you can make sense of what's going on and the overall story and the romance within it. I'm a sucker for it. Number 6 is Glittering Christmas Story. I loved this. This is a one-shot, it's a drama romance, and it follows the female lead who has been ditched by her dad because he's in loads of debt and he's just left her high and dry all alone, and she ends up getting taken in by this really wealthy family who have 3 sons. I really thought this was going to be like a reverse harem situation. I was thinking, oh my goodness, we've got 3 brothers, they're all going to be fighting after her and it's going to be a thing. But no, it's not like that at all. It really is more about found family and them being there for each other. The older brother is the flirty one. Like, maybe there could be a future relationship with him and the girl, but nothing ever happens between them in the manga. The middle brother, he is the smart, sensible one, and then the younger one is the short, angry brother. And all of them have a part to play and an interaction with how her Christmas Eve goes. What ends up happening is there is a Christmas party and the older brother is a waitress there. So he's like, oh, I'm not gonna be around Christmas Eve. The girl gets a bit drunk and the 2 other brothers come home and she's like, let's go to this party and see your brother. It's about what happens when they're all at this party. And I enjoyed it so much that I wish this was longer. Like, I would read a whole manga about them, because there's so much potential. You could follow each of the brothers. I swear she had a bit of a vibe with the older brother, but then it could just be they're all protective and then she ends up liking someone else. I would read their story. However, sadly, it is just a one-shot. But if you look for this manga, there's another one-shot linked to this. Do not read that. The guy is a pervert and is so weird. Do not read that one. I don't recommend that one. Read the first one that comes up. Now we are into our top 5. Yes! I freaking rate these mangas. They are good. They are good Christmas stories, and if you take away anything from today's video is that you read these 5 shoujo mangas. And coming in hot at number 5, we have Almighty X 10. This is a bit of an odd one because it has 3 volumes and it is ongoing. And the first volume, or should I say chapter, focuses on Christmas. And after that, it doesn't really focus around Christmas. And I liked it so much, I continued reading the manga. I think I'm at volume 2 now and I'm enjoying it. Let me get into the genre because I forgot to mention that. So this is a comedy, fantasy, slice of life, but it is kind of set in a school setting. So I would say it's school life as well. Past chapter 1, it's school life. Chapter 1, when it's Christmassy, it's not that at all. So let's get into this. The female lead is called 10 and she's really sad and mad at her brother because he's ditched her on Christmas Eve and she's going to be alone now. But a man randomly pops up and is like, your brother has hired me to take care of you today and to make sure that you have a happy Christmas Eve. She's a bit like, whoa, who the hell are you? Where have you come from? But she goes along with it. And then when the night is coming to a close, She's like, what's your name? He never gives her his true name, but he does give her this gift tag. And she wakes up without remembering how the night ended. And it does give me Cinderella vibes, but reverse. You know, in Cinderella where they have this amazing evening and time at the ball together. However, she rushes off, she leaves her shoe, and then she goes back to her normal life. And the prince is like, I need to find this woman because she was amazing. Now, it's like that, but she's like, I really want to find this guy because I want to say thank you and show him my appreciation of giving me a really good Christmas Eve. And really all she wants to do is give him back the name tag and say thanks. But she's adamant and hell-bent on finding him. And it's about her journey trying to find this guy. I don't know if I've sold that very well. I found the girl so cute because she likes sweet treats. The guy is still a bit of a mystery because we only got him in chapter 1 and he hasn't really been in it much since because she's on the mission to find him. I can't wait to see how the manga goes on. And I really do recommend this as just a normal manga, but also if you're looking for a manga with Christmassy vibes. Because obviously the first chapter was Christmas themed. Oh, this next one, number 4, is what you want in a cute shoujo school life romance. It was perfection. It really did give me vibes of the usual shoujo manga I read, just set at Christmas. It is a one-shot, so you can read this. Please do read it. I know you'll love it. And it's called The Magic of Christmas. Please read this one, please. It follows this group of friends who are in high school and they're going to this karaoke place on Christmas Eve. And you know what? It's our female lead's birthday as well, but no one's really said happy birthday to her, so she's just going with the flow. And within this group of friends, she fancies the pants off of this guy, but he hasn't wished her happy birthday. He hasn't really showed signs of liking her. She's a bit sad by this, and it follows her trying to sort out her feelings whilst at this karaoke, whilst the guy is not giving anything away. Oh, they're like besties. Honestly, this one had me kicking my feet, giggling, and the cuteness of the blushing of the characters. You know I'm a sucker for a blush. I want more. I'm sad it's a one-shot, but it's amazing. Please go and read it. Now, in third place, we have the one that is the most Christmas, and it's not a one-shot. It is, I think there's 3 volumes and it's completed, and every single one is somewhat Christmas themed, even though it's set in like summer and spring and Christmas. Like, it really does follow these characters for a couple of years. This is a fantasy comedy romance. I don't even know if I said the name, but it's called Sweet Rein. It follows this girl who is just walking about minding her own business around Christmas time. She doesn't really care about Christmas because her dad works a lot again. But he's like a nice dad. He does check in with her and is like, I'm really sorry I can't make it. So she's spending Christmas alone. She's just walking around town and she bumps into this guy. And then bam, there's a little string that attaches her with this guy. And you know what? He's actually a reindeer and she is meant to be Santa. And this sounds crazy, okay? But bear with me here. The whole premises is that there's reindeers out there and no one knows who their Santa is until they randomly meet them and touch, and then they're linked together in a master-servant relationship. So whatever this Santa says, the reindeer does, no matter what. Some reindeers never meet their Santas because it is by chance. So when they do, they're like over the moon, they love it. And this guy is like, I can't believe I've met my Santa. I can't believe it's a girl Santa. She's like, what on earth is going on? And he kind of has to rope her into being Santa because she's like, I'm not going to do that. That's really not for me. But then she ends up absolutely loving it. And the main thing I love about this is that it is a female Santa. And she's so good at the job. Their relationship is adorable. One thing that she loves about this relationship is the fact that she's never going to be lonely on Christmas again because she's always going to be delivering presents and she's got that bond with the reindeer. Also, the story adds in other Santas and other reindeers. So there's a lot of other side plots and storylines going on. The only thing that is so dumb about this is she stays 17 throughout every single manga. And we're talking about there's 3 Christmases we read. So she should be at least 20 by now. The author does address it and they're kind of like, look, I want her to be a 17-year-old girl. And the author just wanted to focus on the character development and the relationship between her and the guy. So I'm glad the author does make a comment about it. They're kind of like, please just let me have this. And obviously it's not that serious, it's completely fine. They also make a joke within the manga where she says, oh, I feel like I've been 17 for ages, which had me laughing because she literally has. Oh. Number 2 is wholesome and I love the setting. So it's called Christmas Romance and this is a comedy school life romance. I can't get enough of this. I actually reread this as soon as I finished it because I loved it that much. The reason why is because the female lead works in a bookshop and it's about her crushing and absolutely fangirling over an author of this book. And she finds out that the author is actually a student at her school. She is really excited because his next book is going to be released on Christmas Eve. So she's absolutely fangirling. She goes up to him to introduce herself, but he's completely different to how she thought he would be. And he's actually quite shut off. He doesn't really give people the time of day. It's not like he's big for his boots. He just keeps himself to himself and I think he struggles with like people relationships and having normal conversations with people. And you think that that's going to be them done, but he walks into her bookshop and needs help finding some books. It's about their story together and her getting to know him getting to know her. Also about the build-up of his book getting released on Christmas Eve. She's funny and her obsession with him and his books is a chef's kiss. Oh, I want more. I really, really, really want more of their story. I need a manga, a whole manga about this, like a series, please. But all we get is a one-shot. So I will be rereading this every Christmas because it's short, cute, and wholesome. Now, number 1, the best. This is everything you want in a shoujo Christmas romance. I mean, I love it. It is perfection. It's a one-shot, sadly. Again, I want more. I want a manga series, but all we get is this beautiful, stunning one-shot called Santa Claus is Blue. It follows our male lead who helps out and works at his parents' bakery. Their whole motto and why they're so busy and sold out every Christmas is the fact that they're like, if you eat one of our cakes on Christmas Eve with the person you love, your feelings will be returned. So everyone who has a crush on someone, they always pre-order cakes, they're always rammed, and this guy is like, this is stupid. Like, how can people believe this? He's obviously always working Christmas, he's never really baked anything for someone special. He's venting to his best friend, who is a girl. He ends up saying, what would be really special is if someone actually made a cake for the person that they really liked, instead of ordering one from a bakery. So she's like, well, can you make me make a cake because I like someone? And he's like, what on earth? I never knew you liked someone. And it follows their lead up to Christmas and their baking lessons together, him trying to suss out who she likes and helping her make this cake for this person. Oh, I love it so much. I love it. This is everything for shoujo lovers. I'm telling you, you have to read this. They were adorable. Like, he is a bit snappy and he can seem rude, but he's so caring. And then our female lead, she is really bashful. She gets a bit shy, and when she smiles, it's everything. Oh. If you read this, comment below. Comment below and tell me if you loved it as much as me. So that is all of the mangas that I'm recommending today that give me the Christmassy feels. I mean, you know the ones that I really do love. The top 10 were great and I do recommend you read them. The others down the list, they really are hit or misses. So take those recommendations with a pinch of salt. I just had to include some of them because they were so weird and crazy. Let me know if you plan to read any of these. Please let me know if you have any other recommendations because I am feeling so Christmassy right now. That's why this video took so long to make, because I just got carried away and kept reading Christmas mangas. I'm loving it, but it's so difficult to find good ones. So many are bad, they are crap. So I am really looking for these recommendations. And I hope we're all just feeling really excited for Christmas. 1 week to go. And I'm hoping if you're not feeling in the Christmas mood, these mangas will make you feel in the festive spirit. So I'm gonna leave you here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I am so excited to film this.